Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Awareness is All There Is. It's actually a question someone asked, and the question is, how isn't the mind, body, and awareness not all linked? Before I was born, I was not aware, at least I don't remember. What am I missing about it? So I'll share the answer that I wrote, and then we'll talk a little bit on this. I said, when you are in bed sleeping and you start to dream, is the dream and the body in the dream linked to the mind that is aware of the dream? The answer is no, because if they were, when the mind awakes, will drag the dream and its content with it. But the dream vanishes along with the bodies and the images in it, not as something that did happen, but as something that never did. Meanwhile, while the dream seemed to appear, there was awareness of it. So, awareness is the capacity of being aware. It is not the mind nor the dream, it is just awareness. And even the word awareness does not apply to non-duality, because awareness implies something that is aware and that which is being aware of. But due to the limitation of language, these are the words that I employ. So, when you talk about awareness, when we talk about awareness, awareness is the capacity of being aware. It's just simply awareness. It's not that I, the person, is aware. It's that awareness is. When you wake up in the morning, prior to the mind engaging with its interpretation, seeing happens, there's a capacity of being aware, but the mind still has not registered, or should I say, identified with anything. It's just the experience itself of just awareness. So that's why the language is a limitation. So that capacity is always latent. It's always there. It's always is. Whether there's a mind that can conceptualize the experience, or whether the conceptualization is not there. For example, when you look at someone who maybe, let's say, his mental faculties are not there, somebody who maybe have a mental challenges, it's aware of the experience, but does not interpret it in the way that we who seem to have our mental capacities stable do so. But there is awareness. An animal, for example, is aware of the environment, but it does not interpret it the same way that human beings does. It just simply is aware, is pure aliveness, act on instinct, and that's about it. Human beings, on the other hand, also have the capacity. They are not aware, but awareness also is the capacity of being aware of the environment and everything, except that the human being have the capacity to interpret, to give meaning. You see, that's the only difference. Interestingly enough, someone who doesn't have those capacities, we feel sorry for them, when in reality they are just happier than because they're just being. You see. And we, on the other hand, with the capacity of the intellectual understanding, find ourselves feeling miserable, why this is happening to me, I am not good enough, and all that kind of stuff. But these are just thoughts, right? And that's it. And what we're doing with these videos is not losing the capacity of interpreting, but seeing interpreting as just part of what seems to appear in what we are, in awareness. And again, and that's where the language is very limiting. So we're pointing to it, but we cannot tell you what it is. When I say to you, for example, if you don't identify with any thoughts, the invitation is to rest in awareness. You see? If you don't believe any thoughts, It doesn't matter what the thoughts suggest. It doesn't matter. If you don't believe any of them, well, you're resting in awareness. That's basically what this is pointing to. And the awareness is not linked to anything in particular. The awareness has the capacity of being aware of what seems to be a body, of being aware of thoughts that may seem to appear, of being aware of everything. You see, the capacity, the knowing capacity is there, but it's not personal. It's just beingness. It's just being, and you are that already. You are that beingness. You are. You simply are. You see this. There's nothing else to say. If we begin to say things like "you are aware," the mind immediately says that I, person, individual, is aware. No, no, no. Awareness is the capacity of being aware is there, and that's it. And this is where this is all pointing to. You see. When you find yourself experiencing the thoughts that the mind is very engaged with or so, then we try to apply the awareness and everything to see I am aware of the thoughts because I want the thoughts to go away and everything. But in reality, awareness does not discriminate at all. Awareness is all-encompassing, you see. And this is where this is actually pointing to. That's why this is not personal. This is not for the individual. There's nothing to miss here. You're not missing anything. You simply are. And this is what we're reminded all the time, you see. And the tendency is to identify with the thoughts and with the evaluations and the me and the poor me, look what happens to me, and this is about me and the world. But these are just thoughts in awareness. You see, these are just thoughts that seems to be appearing in awareness. We're not denying anything, we're not suppressing anything, we're not bypassing anything, we're just simply being conscious of the fact that we are aware that this is all there is just awareness. And in awareness, everything seems to appear and disappear, and everything that seems to appear and disappear cannot affect awareness. You see? It may seem to affect the seeming individual that I find myself identified with, but when there's the recognition that all that there is the awareness, which is what is, and the seeming individual is also a thought in awareness, then all that there is life unfolding as it will, according to its conditioning, according to the script. But when we rest in awareness, the content of the dream has no effect on the beingness that I am. And this is what the videos are pointing to. That's why there is awareness and the content of awareness. But in reality, all that there is awareness. The content has no power to affect awareness, unless awareness is overlooked and the identification is with the content. And in this case, the content would be the thoughts, which they are used to hold on to the belief that I am this separate entity, I'm this individual, this is who I am. If I ask you who are you, you probably must say my name is blah blah blah, or my profession, or male, female. And for practical purposes in the world of appearances, that is functional. But when there's a recognition that I am, even when I say my name is Nick, I am a male, I was born in Puerto Rico, simultaneously I know that this is part of the functioning in this seeming world of appearances, but none of that is taken seriously. It's just simply, words that are being said through the instrument that appears to say them, while simultaneously there's a recognition that I am. You see? And this is where all this is pointing to. There's nothing to resolve, there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change. It's just simply what is. And that is resting in awareness. And no one is resting in awareness, but as you see, the language, the limitation of language is always going to try to get a hold to the seeming individual. That's why this is not something to be talked about. It's just about pointing. That's all. The pointing is enough to see. That's what the old analogy, the finger pointing to the moon. I'm trying to point to the moon, but instead of looking at the moon so you can see what the moon is, you just go poking on the finger. All the attention is on the finger pointing to the moon, and you're trying to dialogue with the finger. Okay, what's the moon look like? And the finger is not trying to give you an answer. The finger is pointing. It's pointing not so you can keep asking questions. It's pointing to see if you finally turn your head and look and see the moon. Oh, that's the moon, and that's it. And the moment that is seen, then the finger is no longer necessary. Well, the pointers is that when this become very crystal clear that awareness is what I am, then there's no need to talk about this, because now the recognition is established, not by anyone, but again, it's just what is. And life continue, or the seeming life continue on until the character or the dream and the whole thing disappears. But while the dream seems to appear, there's a way of living in the world that is not of it, meaning that is living in the world with a mind that is not of this world. You see, is being in the world but not of it. And that's where all these videos are pointing to. So that's why I say right now, all that there is awareness. There's awareness of everything. There's awareness of that. It's not personal. I'm not aware of anything, and yet awareness seems to be happening. There's a capacity of being aware, that's all. And we rest in that. And in awareness, thoughts will appear. Sensations will appear. The whole world of appearances seems to appear in awareness. But I simply rest in I am. And that's it. There's nothing I can say. So I hope this helped, and as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.